शूलहलानि शङ्खमुसले चक्रं धनुस्सायकं हस्ताब्जैर्दधतीं घनान्तविलसच्चीतांशुतुल्यप्रभां गौरीदेहसमुद्भवां त्रिजगताम् आधारभूतां महापूर्वामत्र सरस्वतीमनुभजे शुम्भादिदैत्यार्दिनीम्. Devi Mahatmyam, chapter number 5, We Surrender in Devotion. The Rishi said, once upon a time, two asuras, Shumbha and Nishumbha, assumed leadership of the three worlds. They took the offerings intended for Indra and arrogated to themselves the roles of Surya, Chandrama, Kubera, Yama, Vayu, Varuna and Agni. Expelled from their rightful place and authority, the Devas all thought about the invincible goddess and her promise, whenever in distress you call me to mind, I will end all those calamities at that very instant. So the gods went to that lord of mountains, Himavat, and began to recite hymns of praise to Sri Vishnu Maya, who is the elusive power of Sri Vishnu. The Devas said, Namo Devyai Mahadevyai Shivayai Satatan Namaha Namah Prakrityai Bhadrayai Niyataf Pranatasmatam Raudrayai Namo Nityayai Gauryai Dhatriyai Namo Namaha Jyotsnayai Chendurupinyai Sukhayai Satatan Namaha Kalyanyai Pranatam Vridhyai Siddhyai Kurmo Namo Namaha Nairutyai Bhobhritam Lakshmyai Sharvanyai Te Namo Namaha Durgayai Durgaparayai Sarayai Sarvakarinyai Khyaatyai Tathaiva Krishnayai Dhumrayai Satatan Namaha. The Deva said, salutations to the Devi, the Mahadevi, salutations to the eternal auspicious one, to that one who is the primordial cause, she who is the sustaining power. We utterly surrender to you. We bow and surrender to Raudra, who is ferocious and who, as Gauri, is the support of the universe. We surrender to that one who is tender as moonlight, who bestows happiness. We reverence her continually. We bow to Kalyani, who enables us to perfect ourselves. We bow to Lakshmi, who prospers us. We bow to Sharvani, who is the king of kings. Reverence to Durga, we surrender to her, who is inaccessible and who enables us to cross the ocean of illusion. We bow to her, who is the foundation of the world, who is the awareness and discrimination. To her, whose complexion is blue-black like smoke. We surrender and bow again and again to that goddess, who is the most gentle and most terrible, to her who destroys the enemies of truth to preserve the world order. Ati saumyati raudrayai natastasyai namo namaha namo jagat pratishthayai devyai krityai namo namaha ya devi sarva bhuteshu Vishnu Mayeti Shabdita Namastasyai 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 Namo Namaha Ya Devi Sarva Bhuteshu चेतनेत्यभिधीयते नमस्तस्यै 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 नमो नमः या देवी सर्वभूतेषु बुद्धिरूपेण संस्थिता नमस्तस्यै 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 नमो नमः या देवी सर्वभूतेषु निद्रारूपेण संस्थिता नमस्तस्यै 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 नमो नमः या देवी सर्वभूतेषु क्षुधारूपेण संस्थिता नमस्तस्यै 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 नमो नमः या देवी सर्वभूतेषु छायारूपेण संस्थिता नमस्तस्यै 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 नमो नमः या देवी सर्वभूतेषु शक्तिरूपेण संस्थिता नमस्तस्यै 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 नमो नमः We bow to the Devi who abides in all beings in the form of consciousness. We bow and surrender to her. We bow and surrender to her who is intelligence, to her who is sleep, to her who is hunger, to her who is reflection, shadow in all beings. We bow to her who is the strength, the energy, the power in all beings. या देवी सर्वभूतेषु तृष्णारूपेण संस्थिता नमस्तस्यै 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 नमो नमः या देवी सर्वभूतेषु क्षान्तिरूपेण संस्थिता नमस्तस्यै 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 नमो नमः या देवी सर्वभूतेषु जातिरूपेण संस्थिता नमस्तस्यै 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 नमो नमः या देवी सर्वभूतेषु लज्जारूपेण संस्थिता नमस्तस्यै 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 नमो नमः या देवी सर्वभूतेषु शान्तिरूपेण संस्थिता नमस्तस्यै 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 नमो नमः या देवी सर्वभूतेषु श्रद्धारूपेण संस्थिता नमस्तस्यै 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 नमो नमः We bow to her who is desire, who is thirst. We bow to her who is forgiveness and patience. We bow to her who is the particular class or species of all beings. We bow to the Devi who is modesty in all beings. We bow to her who is peace, who is tranquility in all beings. To her who is faith we bow. To that Devi who dwells in all beings we bow. Indriyanam bhutanam chakhileshu ya bhutetu satatam tasyai vyapti devyai namo namaha chitirupena ya krishna metad vyapya sthita jagat नमस्तस्यै 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 नमो नमः स्तुतासुरैः पूर्वमभीष्टसंश्रयात् तथा सुरेन्द्रेण दिनेषु सेविता करोतु सा नः शुभहेतुरीश्वरी शुभानि भद्राण्यभिहन्तु चापदः या साम्प्रतं चोद्धत दैत्यतापितैः अस्माभिरीशा च सुरैर्नमस्यते या च स्मृता तत्क्षणमेव हन्ति नः सर्वापदो भक्तिविनम्रमूर्तिभिः The rishi said, O king, while the gods were praising and worshipping her, Parvati came to bathe in the waters of Ganga. The goddess with beautifully arched eyebrows asked, "Whose praise is being hymned here?" Then an auspicious goddess sprang forth from the treasure house of her body and replied, "For me, this hymn is uttered by the assembly of gods who have been defeated in war and exiled by Shumbha and Nishumbha. As Ambika manifested from the pores of Parvati's body, she glorified as Kaushiki in the three worlds. Then Parvati also became black and came to be known as Kalika and took her abode in the Himalaya. Then Chanda and Munda, the two servants of Shumbha and Nishumbha, happened to see that Ambika, Kaushiki, looking extremely beautiful. They reported to Shumbha, "O great king, there is an exceedingly beautiful woman whose queenly beauty is illuminating the Himalayas. No one has ever seen such loveliness anywhere. Find out who that goddess is and take possession of her. O Lord of Asuras, she is a gem among women, with beautiful limbs which illuminate the four directions with her luster. There she stands, O King of Demons, you deserve to see her. Lord, whatever precious stones, jewels, elephants, horses, and so on are there in the three worlds, all now decorate your house. O King, you have obtained the precious elephant, Airavat, also the fabulous tree, Parijata, as well as the wonderful horse, Uchaishrava, which was Indra's. Here in the courtyard stands the gem-studded chariot drawn by swans. It was brought here from Brahma. Here is the treasure Mahapadma from Kubera and the unfading lotus garland Kinjalkini, the gift from the ocean. Varuna's umbrella, which showers gold, now stands in your house with the superb chariot that once belonged to Prajapati. Lord, you have snatched Utkantida, the missile of Yama by which he gives exit to all creatures. Your brother now possesses the noose of the ocean king. Nishumbha also has all the gems from the ocean, while you have the two fireproof garments from the Agni. O demon king, as all these gems have been given to you, why not seize this jewel among women? The Rishi said, after listening to all this from Chanda and Munda, Shumbha sent out the mighty demon Sugriva as his messenger to the Devi. He said, "Go and convey my invitation to her in a gentle way so that she will be affectionate towards me." Going over to the lovely mountain seat of the goddess, the messenger spoke in a sweet, soothing tone, saying, "O Devi, I am the messenger of Shumbha, lord of the demons and sovereign of the three worlds. He has vanquished all his foes among Asuras, and even the gods were unable to resist him. He sent me here to your presence. Listen to what he says. His message is this: all the three worlds are mine. Even the gods obey me. I eat all the offerings which once were theirs. All the finest jewels of the three worlds are now mine. Even Indra's elephant, Airavata, is now mine. With salutations, the gods have even offered me the glorious horses called Uchaishrava, which arose at the churning of the milk ocean. O magnificent lady, all the other objects which belong to the gods, Gandharvas or Nagas, are all now in my possession. We regard you, O Devi, as the jewel among womankind. Therefore, come to us, we who are the conquerors of the three worlds. Come to me or to my powerful younger brother Nishumbha. O lady of the quick side glances, you are indeed a sparkling jewel. By marrying me, you will gain incomparable wealth. Think of the advantage and become my wife. The Rishi said. When this was said, the adorable goddess Durga, who sustains and protects the universe, smiled thoughtfully and said, "What you say is true, no doubt. Shumbha is indeed sovereign of the three worlds together with Nishumbha. But how may I nullify my former vow? Please listen to this vow I once made in ignorance. I once declared I would only marry the one who could be my equal in strength, one who could defeat me in battle and remove my pride. Only he could be my husband. So let Shumbha come here, or Nishumbha, the great Asura. Let him vanquish me without delay and gently take my hand in marriage." The messenger said, "O Devi, this is arrogance. Do not talk this way to me. Name a single god from the three worlds who is capable of standing against Shumbha and Nishumbha." In fact, all the gods were unable to face even the other asuras in battle. So how could you, a single woman, do this on your own? If Indra and all other god heads united could not defeat Shumbha, how will you, a woman, dare to face him? It would be better that you heed my message and go to Shumbha and Nishumbha yourself. Otherwise, you will suffer the humiliation of being dragged there by the hair. The Devi said, "It is true Shumbha is strong. Nishumbha is very heroic. But what can I do? In my ignorance, I made my vow earlier. You go back to the Asura Lord and tell him politely what I have said. Then he may do whatever he pleases."